Hey, in today's video I'll discuss Of Mythologies by Roland Barthes. Roland Barthes was born in 1915 and died in 1980. He was a French literary theorist, essayist, philosopher, critic, and semiotician. Barthes' ideas explores a diverse range of fields. He influenced the development of many schools of theory including structuralism, semiotics, social theory, design theory, anthropology, and post-structuralism. He was known for developing and extending the fields of semiotics through the analysis of various science systems, mainly from Western popular culture. Mythologies is a book by Roland Barthes, published in 1957. It is a collection of essays from Les Lettres Novelistes. It is a French name of a magazine. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. Examining tendency of contemporary social value system to create myths. He also looked up the semiology of process of myth creation. Mythologies is split into two, that is, Mythologies and Myth today. The first section consisting of a collection of essays on selected modern myths, and the second further general analysis of the concepts. The first section of Mythologies describes a section of modern cultural phenomena chosen for their status as modern myths. Each short chapter analyzes one such myth, ranging from Einstein brain to soap, powders, and detergents. In a typical example, Barthes describes the image that has been built up around red wine and how it has been adopted as French national drink of proletariat, partly because it seems like blood, as in Holy Book, and points out very little attention to red wine's harmful effects to health, but that is instead viewed as life-giving and refreshing. In another chapter, Barthes explores the myth of professional wrestling. He describes that how, unlike in the sports of boxing, the aim of theatrical fight is not to discover who will win or a demonstration of excellence. It is a stage spectacle acting over society's basic concepts of good and evil, of suffering, defeats, and justice, but the audience expect them to suffer and to be punished to their own transgressions of wrestling rules in a theatrical version of society's ideology of justice. Some mythologies that Barthes discusses are the world of wrestling, the Roman in film, the blue blood curse, blind and dumb criticism, soap, powders, and detergents, the poor and the proletariat, triumphs of literature, novels and children, wine and milk, steak and chips, the brain of Einstein, blue guide, the jetman, and many more. The second half of the book, Barthes addresses the question, what is myth today? With the analysis of ideas such as myth as a type of speech and myth on the wings of politics, Barthes justifies and explains his choices and analysis. He calls upon the concept of semiology developed by Ferdinand de Saussure, who described the connection between an object and its linguistic representation. Working with this structure, Barthes continues to show his ideas of myth as further signs with its roots in language, but to which something is added. So, with a word, the meaning and the sound come together to make a sign. To make a myth, the sign itself is used as signifier and a new meaning is added, which is signified, but according to Barthes, this is not added arbitrarily. Although we are not necessarily aware of it, modern myths are created with a reason. As in the example of a red wine, mythologies are formed to be perpetuate an idea of society that adheres to the current ideologies of ruling class and its media. Barthes demonstrates this theory with the example of a front cover from Paris Match edition number 326 of July 1955, showing a young black soldier in the French uniform saluting. The signifier, a saluting soldier, cannot offer us further factual information of the young man's life, but it has been chosen by the magazine to symbolize more than a young man. The picture, in combination with signified of Frenchness, militariness, and relative ethnic differences, gives us a message about France and its citizens. The picture does not explicitly demonstrate that France is a great empire that all her sons, without any color discrimination, faithfully serve under her flag, etc. The combination of the signifier and signified perpetuate the myth of imperial devotion, success, and thus a property of significance of picture. Exploring the concepts of myth, Barthes seeks to grasp the relation between language and power. He assumes that myth helps to naturalize particular worldviews. According to Barthes, myth is based on human history and myth cannot be naturally occur. There is always some communicative intentions in myth. That depends on the context where it exists. Myth can easily be changed or destroyed. By changing the context, one can change the effects of myth. Myth itself participates in the creation of ideology. According to Barthes, myth doesn't seek to show or hide the truth when creating an ideology, it seeks to deviate from the reality. The major function of myth is to naturalize a concept, a belief. Myth purifies signs and fills them with a new meaning which is relevant to the communicative intentions of those who are creating a myth. Now, the question is, why do people believe in myth? The power of myth in his expressive character, it seeks to surprise the audience. The impression is more powerful than any rational explanation which can disprove the myth. Thank you so much. If this video was helpful, give it big thumbs up and subscribe my channel.